Hello, hello, how's it going? How's it going? I spent a literal hour trying to get this game to show up. I don't know why it worked fine the other day, but it did not want to show up at all on OBS. I don't know, it was weird. So like, it looks good for y'all, but for me, like, I don't have it full screen. I have like a partial window or whatever. But it looks fine for y'all. But I was like, oh my god, if this game does not work, visual note or whatever. If this does not work, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm pretty sure it's something with OBS. Because, like, I was using screen capture to do it, just because when you're in the full screen on here, like, you gotta, like, alt-tab through stuff. So, like, window capture doesn't really wanna pull it up. And it just would not, like, whenever I did the window capture, it was just showing, like, my background instead, and then the cursor wasn't popping up in the game and stuff like that. So I had to put it in windowed mode and then like stretch it out as much as I could. That way I could still somewhat see it. I mean, I can see it, but it's not full screen like I would like it to be. It's not taking up my whole monitor. But that's okay. We'll jump into this. I've been wanting to read some more of it. And I'll start to feel better whenever I get to reading some more of it too. The classrooms closest to ours are designated belonging to classes 3-1 and 3-2 on the right side, and 3-4 on the left side, each door looking exactly the same. Why is it quiet here? Further down the corridor, still with identical doors, are rooms that I didn't think were used for classes. I guess the art room is not a classroom as such. I carefully push open the furthest door and peek in. It's a classroom, but it seems rather badly kept or not in use. Am I in the right place? Is there supposed to be no music? Yeah. Desks and chairs are all around the room. A thin layer of dust settled on them. There are some easels in the corner, so at least this looks like the right place. The room is flushed in sunlight from the big windows, shadows creeping all over the desks. Specks of dust are dancing in stagnant air, making the beams of light almost visible. Jokingly, I call into the empty room. Anybody home? Something catches my eye and I stop mid-sentence. Sitting on a desk is a short-haired girl, curiously wearing a boy's uniform, with a fork between her toes, a morsel of food stuck firmly on the end. There's the music. I was like, why is it so quiet? This odd way of dining seems to be caused by her apparent lack of hands, but her presence here is what takes me aback even more. How did I miss her before? She's sitting in a corner very still, but I still somehow took her as part of the furnishing, or statue at first glance. I'm not being too observant today as a whole. Looks like she's eating some rice, and it's like green beans and carrots. The girl seems to be frozen in place, staring at me with her huge eyes like a rabbit in headlights. She's staring at me, her mouth wide open, ready to accept the fork. I'm staring at her, my mouth wide open, suddenly remembering I didn't finish my sentence, and trying to think if I should. This weird stalemate keeps us both stunned into silence, punctuated only by the wall clock ticking rhythmically. Hello. The girl stuffs the forkful in her mouth and is now staring at me expectantly while chewing. This is a bit awkward. Hello. I was told to pick up some supplies from here, for some festival stalls I think. I didn't think there would be someone here. There isn't. That's why I came here too. She picks up another forkful. Doesn't that mean you're here then? She raises her eyebrows as if she was suspecting my observation was false. Suspecting my observation was false. Jesus, I butchered that sentence. You are pretty observant. I guess it does, but who are you? This girl is pretty straightforward, isn't she? I'm Nakai, Hisao Nakai. I just transferred in on Monday. I'm Rin, Tezuka Rin Tezuka. I won't shake hands with you, but at least we know who we are now. That's very nice. A sly smile. Her deadpan manner of talking makes it hard to determine whether she's joking about shaking hands or not. It kind of bothers me joking about these matters doesn't feel appropriate at all. It doesn't, does it? While I'm trying to figure out what's appropriate and whether this girl is, she seems to have lost interest in me and is now gazing yearningly back at her food. Can I continue my lunch? If you don't mind me, I won't mind you. If you need to get your stuff, the supplies are in the back. Go right ahead, but lunch? School's already over for the day. What word would you use then? There's no word for a meal you eat after lunch but before dinner, right? It bothers me very much too, but I don't really know what I should say. I don't think you're supposed to eat a meal between lunch and dinner to begin with. But I'm hungry now, and my delicious boxed lunch would go to waste otherwise. Have curry, it's very delicious. With much decisiveness, Rin once again picks up the fork between her toes, and with at least as much impoliteness, she points it straight at me. So Nakai, what brings you to this place? Like I said, I was told to look for these things. No, the school. From outside you look fine. Is your problem inside? I come to a full stop, opening my mouth but not getting a word out. I can guess. I'm good at guessing. Better than most people. Rin cuts me off before I can answer her question, or skirt around it somehow. I don't know which I would have done. I froze in front of this issue again. I haven't even told anyone here about my condition, or maybe it's only because it hasn't really come up. I do get the feeling that not making issues of this is part of the school code here, as the teacher said. I wonder if the people here could relate. Probably not any better than any normal person could. I can't relate to Shizune's circumstances or Lily's either. Naturally, while I go through this in my head, Rin keeps considering what my condition could be, with an overtly contemplative look on her face. She puts her fork between her lips and leans back, looking at the ceiling as if the answer was written up there. A beam full of light illuminates her face from the window side, creating a mask of dark shadow on the other side. I don't think it's anything in your head, and something in your guts would be boringly ordinary, like this lunch of mine, and less delicious. The problem must be in your pants. This messed up Sherlock Holmes kind of statement and the sheer lack of tact it was delivered with catches me completely off guard. I think I might have reeled back even physically as Rin's eyes widened in revelation and astonishment. So I was right. There's something wrong with your tackle, isn't there? Still partially in shock, but recognizing the need to reply something, I spit out the first thing that I can think of. No, nothing like that. I have a heart problem. Arrhythmia. I said it. More like blurted it out, but I said it. The girl in front of me presses her lips together and glowers at me, looking very disappointed. How boring. Trouble in the pants would have been much more scandalous. What's with this reaction? I'm sorry to let you down. I forgive you. Just, I collect people, and a person with, that kind of problem would have been really great. Collect people? People with different problems. Huh, so you just, go around asking people what's wrong with them? Pretty much. I see. With little left to say, Ren resumes her lunch and the conversation dies away, but I keep thinking about what she said. Yeah, there's no interest now. What a wild thing to say. It's the first time I told anybody else about my condition. All the other people have either known about it already or heard about it from someone else. Or didn't need to know about it like every other student here so far. Should I have told it as a natural part of introductions? Is it expected of me? No. I'm Hisao. I have a serious heart condition. A very serious heart condition. Is that how I'm supposed to go around introducing myself from now on? I keep seeing this red up here, and I don't know what this is. Is this like a sprinkler system or something? Maybe. I don't know, it keeps throwing me off though. Because it stands out from the rest of the room. As if our disabilities would define us. What a disgusting thought. That's what you have been doing to everybody. He has been referring to everybody by their disability, so I don't know why he says what a disgusting thought. Or maybe this Tezuka girl just has an unnatural interest in such things. As I walked to the back of the room to pick up the items on Misha's list, a chance opens the study ran from the corner of my eye. Her hair is a burnt auburn, almost orange and cropped short. Long hair would probably be impossible with no arms. The boy's uniform and the lack of arms make her look very thin, almost scrawny. She's not particularly pretty except for her murky green eyes which flicker restlessly from below her short bangs, even when she eats. That's kind of rude. The distance and the shadows make it seem like they don't reflect sunlight at all, but instead absorb all of it within them like deep wells. She moves her feet almost as deftly as a normal person would use their arms. Of course. However, I can see how this sight could discomfort people, especially while eating. It makes me feel a bit uncomfortable at least. I hesitate to think about the word unnatural, but it's too late now, isn't it? I keep searching the cabins and shelves for Misha's things, but after enough time passes, the silence grows too uncomfortable, so I try to force some conversation out of this strange girl. I remember one time when I was a kid, I was probably like 6 or 7. I remember my uncle was watching a poker tournament on TV, and there was a guy participating with no arms, so he would like use his feet to like check the cards and all. And that just blew my mind as a kid. Like I had never seen anything like that before. I was like, how is he doing that? How is he able to use his feet like his hands? So do you always eat alone and this late? Or do you get the occasional visitor? Visitors. Maybe you are my first occasional visitor. But I don't always eat alone either. Sometimes I eat with a certain person on the roof, if she's not horsing around. Horsing. She likes to do sports. Oh. And that's all I could think of to say. Both of us fall silent again, as Rin forks the last bits of her meal into her mouth. I look down at my haul and double check it with Misha's list. It seems I have everything except plywood. So I think I have all the things now. That's very nice for you. Don't feel obliged to stay. I was about to take a nap anyway. You need to do whatever you're going to do with that stuff anyway, right? Or perhaps you like to watch girls sleeping. I'm not sure what to make of this, but Rin looks serious. Even if I did, I think I have to be going. I'll catch you around, Tezuka. You can call me Rin. I feel that our relationship is at this point good enough to warrant this much. I was already turning to make my exit, but she draws me back in. Fine then, I'm Hisao. Then you are. Rin looks me hard in the eyes, but that intimidating feeling you get when someone stares at you isn't there. It's like she's actually not looking at me at all. She blinks a couple of times, and I can't figure out why a pause like this just popped between us out of nowhere. See you later, Hisao. There's something like a tiny smile there in her face, maybe. I quietly back out of the room. As I shut the door in front of my face, I whisper to myself, what an intriguing person. From inside, I hear a muffled sing-song voice. I heard that. What did she hear? I jump at the sudden appearance of Misha, who I had not heard approaching despite the completely empty hallway. Somehow she had gotten to jumping distance of me without making a sound. Creepy. It briefly reminds me of Kenji's nutty theory about a global feminist conspiracy, but I pushed that thought aside. I wish there was like a secret ending in this where that was all true, like the global conspiracy or whatever. That would have been a good idea for them to do. Shizune, standing slightly behind Misha, looks aloof as she couldn't have heard the remark that drew Misha's attention, but Misha's visibly excited. No, wait, more importantly, who is in there? There's no club meetings today. She tries to curiously peek past me, even though the door prevents her from seeing anyway. What are you doing here? You took so long that we had to come check what's wrong. That's no good, Ichan. She wags her finger at me scoldingly. I found plywood, but everything else is still missing because you are tardy. Oh, sorry, I got the things here. Was just going to bring them. I think you were up to some mischief, Ichan. Who was in there with you, I wonder? Misha signed something quickly to Shizune, pointing at her own ear a couple of times. Shizune immediately pushed her way past me and opens the door into the classroom I just left. I can only imagine the shock she is experiencing. With Shizune's diligence and attitude, the insolence of daring to deface school property by sleeping on top of it must be too much to bear. And indeed, she stares at Rin, frozen in place apart from the sight, a noticeable trembling of her shoulders, from suppressed rage, I'm sure. Instead of blowing up, Shizune just takes a few deep breaths, adjusts her glasses, and slams the door shut, turning to sign furiously at Misha. Maybe she did blow up, but I can't understand it. She had to take some deep breaths before she lost it and went in a fighter, I guess. She shoots a very low stare at me too, as if it was somehow my fault that Rin is slipping on top of the tables. I hope she's not getting any funny ideas about the reason of my tardiness. Hello. Rin's voice comes from the other side of the door and it takes a few eye blinks to realize she might have trouble opening it. I open the door to find Rin directly behind it, looking at us with a half-interested, half-sleepy face. Hello. Miss Tezuka, what do you think you were doing? You are absolutely not permitted to use school property for such a disgraceful activity. It sure is suddenly very crowded in here. I didn't know I was this popular. It's hard to say whether she's happy or unhappy about this turn of events. At any rate, she ignores Shizune and Misha's scolding, so they have no choice but to drop the issue. Shizune taps Misha's shoulders, points at Rin, and makes some quick signs. Popularity aside, please don't do that anymore. Anyway, how is your project going? Will it be done for the festival? Rin looks at them blankly, apparently at ease under the pressure Shizune's cold stare is putting on her. I keep wondering about that myself too. Oh, she's got sweat coming down, she's worried now. And? We'll think about it harder. As Misha signs her reply to Shizune, her face turns into an unsatisfied frown. Miss Tezuka, please try to take this seriously. It'll be a disaster if the wall looks like someone threw up their lunch onto it. Rin nods assertively. We'll think more seriously. Misha actually giggles at that, but Shizune doesn't, not even after translation. She just shakes her head, takes the materials from me, and takes off with Misha in tow. Rin frowns thoughtfully as she looks after the retreating student council duo. How rude. How rude! It's true though, I must finish my project before the weekend. There will be dire consequences if I don't. The end of the world as we know it. Like weekends usually are, but more dire. Much more dire. Maybe I'll postpone my nap to unforeseen future. I gotta stop trying to read so fast. I end up slipping up. I'll forget a letter or add an extra letter by accident when I do that to words. I'm about to ask what project she has and what are these apocalyptical consequences, but she walks back into the art classroom. Since you have nothing to do, would you give me a hand? This paint can doesn't fit into my bag, but I need it. She kicks slightly at a huge can of paint that's lying on the floor next to the table she was sitting and sleeping on. It lets out a dull clang. Being the gentleman I am, I naturally pick it up. Heavy. Yes, sure. Where do you need to take it? Away. And with that, she takes off to the hallway, me and the paint can following, since there's little choice for either of us. The hallway is quiet and empty now with Shizune and Misha gone, so we two take leave towards the stairwell at the other end. Every 10 or 15 or 20 steps, I have to change the can from one hand to another because the thin handle cuts into my palm. At least it keeps my arms from tiring too fast. That's one thing that's always kind of crazy, like whenever you have giant cans or buckets and they don't have one of those, a handle on it, like the plastic protector or whatever. It does cut into your hand. It's why? Why didn't they just put one of the protectors on it, you know? Rin strolls on beside me with an uneven pace that I have trouble matching, or maybe I'm walking weird because of the extra weight. Seems one of us is constantly walking too slow or too fast, and I can't figure out which. 2 flights of stairs below, trouble appears in the form of the head nurse and his fox-like grin. Ah, Mr. Nakai, what a happy coincidence. Tezuka too, of course. He nods courteously to Rin, who does not acknowledge him back, then turns to me because obviously it's me who has some business with. There is something I forgot to mention on Monday. I nod and wait impassively because I can't even guess what he forgot. The feeling of the handle delving deeper into my skin doesn't make me feel enthusiastic about this interruption either. It's about your medications. Since you haven't been that long on your current medications, there might be some unexpected side effects, which might require adjusting dosages or even changing to another kind of medication. So we will do a few tests regularly, but what I'd like for you to keep an eye on is everything in your condition that feels off, if you get what I mean. Nausea, headache, anything. And come see me if something happens. Alright. So how are you? Everything fine? I give up and drop the can to the floor before answering him. Apparently this takes longer than my biceps can handle. I like his character design. I think he's one of the better designed side characters. I'm about to say something generic as an answer, but then I realized how often I've done that lately. Other people have asked me that too. Teachers and students here, my parents, visitors, nurses, doctors at the hospital. Everyone seems to be concerned about that. It's natural for a hospital, not so much for a school. Except this school. This is a small school, and both the student base and the faculty seem to be very tightly knit. At least that's the feeling I'm getting. This is not the kind of school that gets transfer students too often. The thought sends shivers up my spine, but I give a generic answer anyway. And that's great. Also, one other thing. My sources tell me you've been at neither the school track nor even the pool, so I'd like to know if you have taken up exercising as I asked. Of course I haven't, but his way of inquiring gives me the feeling that I should have been running my ass off on the track since the very first day. You have people spying on me? Not as such. I just happen to know a few people. But that's not the issue here, so don't try to slip out of it. Well, I was actually just doing some improvised weightlifting as an exercise. I pick up and lift a can up and down a few times like some sad imitation of a bodybuilder, even though it's weighing down on my arms painfully. The stupid grin disappears from his face for a second, then comes back like it was never gone. Tezuka, would you give us a second? The nurse grabs me by the shoulder without waiting for Rin's permission, which he didn't need in the first place, and drags me aside. When I told you to exercise, I wasn't joking. I understand that you are still in your first week and all, but please don't ignore the importance of this. The reason I'm coming down this hard on you is that habits are not easy to form. The more you slip and postpone, the harder it'll be. It's the same with everything, like dieting. Can you promise me to be more serious about this from now on? We have our choice. We have a choice. I'm not sure what this choice is. Let's see. Let's see. Maybe. No, I mean, he gives me a nasty sort of look when I say that, making me try to take back the word. Uh-oh. I mean, I don't know. I'm still trying to get used to this school. I promise to try, though. You're not being very convincing there, Hisao. Tip number 1, medical professionals are not amused if you take their advice lightly. What's up with him? As if a day or two would make that much of a difference. I don't remember the nurse ever getting mad. I didn't do anything at the hospital either. Yeah, okay, sorry. He studies me for a moment and then shrugs, smiling again. Okay, that's more like it. If you go to the school track tomorrow morning, you'll meet my spy, who probably has no qualms offering consultation if you want to jog a bit. Consultation? See you around. He leaves with a wave of his hand and no answer, and I walk to Rin, who has been waiting. idly leaning against the hallway wall and staring at the pale light fixtures in the ceiling. Even when I approach, she doesn't move her eyes off them. You know what would be pretty cool, actually, is if the team that wrote this and everything, if they came back together to make like some additional arcs or something like that, you know? I mean, I'm sure that will never happen just because this game's been out for so long. And it was like a big collection of people on 4chan. I think 4chan is still a thing, but you know, a lot of those people probably don't even use it anymore and stuff. But I wonder if any of the people who did work on this went on to do anything else, you know? Like anything similar, like whether it was visual novels or games or anything. That'd be kind of cool. I wonder if there's like any information about that. But yeah, this game's been out. When did this game come out? I want to say maybe 2011 or 2012, something like that. So it's been a while. Are you getting medications for your heart thingy? Were you listening? It comes out more accusatory than I intended, accidentally lashing out on her. But even so, I don't really want to start talking about it. I just met her. I don't know her. It's not her business. The nurse seems to be happily ignorant about confidentiality too, talking about that kind of thing in public. But it's not Ren's fault, is it? I look up at her, suddenly feeling a bit guilty. Ren is just staring past my shoulder quizzically, her head tilted like a bird's. Sigh. I don't know why this is so hard for me. Feels like this is some inexplicable lock that prevents me from being more upfront about this. Yeah, they're for my heart. Will they make you better? No, not really. They just make me a little less worse. Rand keeps looking at me for a while longer. She neither says anything further nor displays any kind of emotion I could discern. I'm thankful that she doesn't. I think I'm still not quite used to all this. At the hospital it was easy, but I still haven't sorted my feelings about having to live a normal life with this disability. We leave the main building, and Ren leads us onwards towards the dorm. We stop at the small patch of greenery in front of the dorm building. The dorm is built on a slightly elevated ground, with a wall and a few trees that everyone has to circle around every time they come or go. It's probably the only inconvenient design in this school. I mean, there's gotta be like a ramp somewhere for wheelchairs and stuff. That is a nice looking wall though. The whole school looks very nice, honestly. The entire wall, made of some kind of bricks, as the building... Sorry. I said the wrong word. The entire wall, made of the same kind of bricks as the building itself, has been covered with some sort of painting. Most of it is still mere sketches, quick lines drawn with black and white against the gray plastering that covers almost the entire length of the wall. Some places look a bit more finished. Yeah, like, you got this little side over here that's a little bit done. There are human faces and legs and hands. I can't quite say what the painting as a whole might portray. Stacks of what seem to be paint cans are arranged in piles on the ground, beside the wall. See, the left side is hardly off the ground yet. It's because I couldn't get in the mood yesterday, so I gave up and went to meditate instead. Then it was suddenly morning. Went to meditate, you mean sleep? I have to work on it, but the guys from art class are helping with the negative spaces and bury surfaces whenever, which is a problem. It's easier to paint big areas if there are a lot of people with hands. The reach is better, and it's faster too. She goes on a tangent of a tangent, waving a little with her arm, or whatever of it there actually is, to demonstrate, even though I got the point already. The white cutting of her sleeves flaps around, and it makes me think it could look sadder than it does. But it makes me feel out of place, like almost every tangible reminder of the student basis special properties has in the past few days. This girl doesn't notice my dreary feelings, of course, or the fact that she lost me a while ago already, and just keeps on blabbering. So that's why I'm trying to figure out if there's something I need to figure out, and then figure that out before it's too late and all hope is lost. That sounds like me talking whenever I get nervous. It's like this, you know what I mean? That's kind of what I was getting a reminder of. Why would the hope be lost? Because paint has to be painted, and then it has to dry, and then it has to be painted over with another kind of paint. It takes time. She finally stops, apparently thinking she made some kind of statement that makes sense. You know what? I should draw something soon. I haven't drawn anything in a while. I don't think I've drawn anything since I did the Ichigo drawing, or the Junimo that I drew. That's been months ago. I think it's best I start from the top. So this is your project? You did this? Yes. All of it? Yes. Nice, but I stumbled with my words, suddenly feeling like I walked straight into the minefield of political incorrectness. It's okay, you can say it. I probably won't get mad. I blush really hard. I don't really know what would be the right thing to say, if any. It feels like I'm way more sensitive than Ren is, though. This is really awkward. Don't you want to ask? How do you paint without hands? See, I'm an easy person to talk to, right? With my feet. That made her really happy we asked that. I must guess that already, but isn't that hard to do? You're good at guessing. Anyway, I don't think it is, but maybe I'm used to it by now. I can't get my mind around the fact that she could be an artist, but seeing how adept she was using her feet to eat, I figure painting might not be a problem either. Neither of us has ever anything more to add to the subject. The afternoon light works pretty well. I was afraid it would look too flat, but it's not like that after all. I think it's actually pretty interesting. I wanted to see what it looks like in dim light. Do you think it's flat? Well, paintings tend to be flat. Not like that flat. You know, flat. Like some people are. No substance. No meat where there should be some. I know a few girls who. Okay, I get it. But I couldn't really tell. I'm not that good with art. I can't name many artists or artistic terms. So I don't really have anything to say. Ren shrugs her shoulders at that, saying suit yourself without saying it, and looks up at the sky as if trying to look for something up there. I didn't think I'd get any actual work done, but if you give me a hand with the paints, I could do a little before it's too dark. I wanted to get a halogen lamp like the ones they have at the sports tracks, but there aren't any. Ren sure is quick to recruit my help, as was Shizune. It really makes me feel that the festival is such a big project that every pair of hands is needed. At least you're helping, dude. Why not? I'm not really sure if I could be of any help, though. It's just mixing some paints. You can do that. Probably. Do you have motor control problems like, those people who have some? Cerebral palsy, maybe. Not that I know of. I get it. Her thinking has nothing to do with that. She gives me a sly look for no reason. No, it doesn't. Let's do it then. So she sits on an empty wooden box and very naturally picks up a wide brush between the toes of her bare right foot. Open a few of the cans and pour some of the contents into shallow bowls for mixing. Thick paints flow lazily from the can to the bowl, like syrup. I mix some, creating funny, hypnotic-looking swirl patterns that melt quickly into each other to form a new monotone hue. Ren sets to work every now and then, asking me for a hand with something or the other. Finding different brushes is easy enough, but mixing the paints to be the exact tone this girl is apparently singing in her head is a frustrating ordeal. She wants precision down to the last millimeter before she is satisfied. Her instructions are obscure at best. Add a half a splash of green. I crouch down to pick up the can of bright green. The other green. This green. I carefully pour some of the other green paint into the mixing bowl. No, that's almost a whole splash. More white. Is green a good color to add? No idea, you're the artist here. A hint of smile appears in the corners of her mouth. Do you like an opinion? Nah, it's just that I have no idea. It's okay, because I just got an idea. Add more white. With this exclamation, I pour a minuscule amount of white into the bowl and mix it. It looks slightly whiter. That's not good. It has to be like the color when you wake up and you know that you saw the meaning of life in your dream, but can't remember it. Maybe it's yellow. Despite the impossibility of mixing a color like the change of seasons or any other nonsense that's being imposed on me, I find myself enjoying it more than I thought I would. Yeah, so you're an artist assistant. I think I just said you're an artist assistant. You're an artist assistant. Seeing a painting being born on the plastered wall feels like magic. I spend the moments I have between mixing paints crouching down on the paving and just looking at her work. It feels slightly intrusive at first, like breaking some imaginary intimacy, but Ren doesn't seem to mind the least bit. Maybe it's just in my head. Her entire presence emits a completely different air as she patiently works the details, adding layers of paint on top of other layers of paint, steadily moving her foot across the wall to add new shapes. When I manage to produce a passable mixture of paint, the rare smile on her face is oddly rewarding. Apart from the few words when discussing paint mixes, neither of us says a word for the longest time. And even those short discussions soon evolve into a shorthand, both of us developing and using weird impromptu code words for various paints and hues. As if there was some need to conserve words in breath and sound. Hey, she did a bit of work. We stay there late into the evening until it becomes too dark to paint properly. Hey, Honer. Congrats on first, buddy. How's it going? Hydrate? I appreciate that. I will definitely do some hydrate. The Honer special. Dude, I spent an hour trying to get this to work earlier. Like something with OBS was messed up where this wouldn't work, so I had to go through all these steps to get it to work. I don't know why, because I haven't changed anything since I was reading it. But just OBS being OBS, I guess. The sound of an alarm pulls me out of a fitful slumber into the unpleasant state of wakefulness. I linger under the blanket for a few minutes, gathering energy to rise up while making excuses as for why I haven't already. OBS has been weird the last 2 or 3 days. It has, yeah. I even updated it finally to see if that was the issue. Honestly, I wouldn't mind staying here for it all day. School is surprisingly exhausting after a long pause, and the culture shock still has not faded, I think. Still, despite getting an impression that skipping class is easy here, I don't think they're going to let me get away that easily. Jesus. I don't know why, but something about this comforter just seems so comfortable to me. I don't know why. And the nurse is bound to keep breathing down my neck with the talk of exercising as well. So eventually I do rise up, swallow the morning medications, and put on my old soccer clothing. Thanks to my condition, I was exempted from taking part in gym classes at Yamaku, so I didn't get issued with a gym outfit. I'd ordered some to cover such a contingency, but wearing my old soccer clothes is kind of nostalgic. I can't use them for that anymore, so maybe they can get a new life this way, a bit like me. Seems a bit stupid to me, really, but I suppose this way at least I can tell the nurse honestly that I'm doing something about my health. Not that I was ever much of a runner to begin with. Can't hurt to try, I guess. I really need to do some exercise today. I need to stop being lazy and do some. My shoulders was hurting yesterday, so I didn't do some, but they're not hurting today, so should be fine. I'm surprised to discover I'm not the only one present at the track. Amy best girl, no. Not just that, but it's a face I've seen before. The prosthetic-legged girl who bowled me over in the hallway yesterday is running on the track lightly, like a half-mechanical gazelle. Hey Zeebs, what's up, buddy? What is this? This is Katawa Shoujo, a visual novel. It's about a short rundown of it is a guy finds out in his last year of high school that he has arrhythmia whenever he has a heart attack. So he ends up going to the school for people with disabilities and like just meeting the different students. It's about his time there. It's very good. His wife was in your dream last night? You're committed. Oh, you was playing Lies of P? How are you liking that? I've been purposely like not looking at anything of it about the game because I've been wanting to play it eventually, just because I heard it was a Souls-like and all about music, but I don't know how true that is. What was her name again? It was a short one, but I can't remember. She seems to be running laps at a somewhat easy lope, her prosthetic legs clacking rhythmically on the hard track surface. I wonder what reason she has for running this early in the morning. Maybe it's something akin to mine, and the nurse is oppressing the poor girl to jog, just like he's oppressing me. I certainly wouldn't be here if it weren't for my health, and it's prompting me to do so. Even with things being like they are, it's only because I wanted to get it out of the way early. Starting it later today, so I'll let you know. And I'll spoil everything for you. From what I know, people either love or hate Lies of P, but it is a Souls-like. Well, I like anything that's all about music. So I heard that, and just that was interesting to me. Like I have Metal Hellsinger I still need to play through. I played like 3 levels of it and never got back to it. But I don't know if that's a good stream game because I feel like the whole thing would get muted. Because it's like, big name metal bands in it. Because there's music playing all throughout the game the whole time. The fact that I would be less likely to encounter someone who would witness my pitiful attempts to get in shape was merely a happy accident. I'd leave, but it seems that my former assailant noticed me on her last lap. She waves at me cheerfully and jogs over. Good morning, your name is Hisao, right? She grinned, seemingly pleased that she'd remember my name. You may not remember me. Emmy, I knocked you over in the hall yesterday. How could I forget such a blunt introduction? Emmy has the decency to look vaguely apologetic for a moment before giggling. You're gonna love that? I'm doing pretty good. Best girl, put some clothes on that girl. She's wearing a PE uniform. Yeah, sorry about that. Again. Well, as long as you don't make a habit of it, I suppose it'll be fine. Great. I'm not sure she realized I was joking. So the spy consultant the nurse was talking about, is that actually you? That's right. Oh, I was expecting someone from the nursing staff, to be honest. What? Are you saying I don't look like I could be a spy? Nah, this is more of like a relief. I was afraid you would have someone watch my every move. Unless you are here to do exactly that. No, I'm here for my own reasons. The nurse just asked me if I'd seen a messy hair transfer student who looks like he's kind of lost around the track. So why are you down here? Amy strikes a dramatic pose. Training. For what? Track. Ah, I see. You're on the track team then. Amy nods enthusiastically. Yep, I'm one of the better runners too. And modest about it too. Hey, you should join up. It's good exercise, I think that much activity is probably out of the question for me. No, I'm not even sure I really like running all that much. Plus, I'm not into organized sports, It's true, I never really got that much into soccer. I mean, I'd run around with my friends and all. That was really the only reason I ever played. It wasn't for the glory on the field, that's for sure. She's aerodynamic, yeah. With them ponytails, his pigtails. Speed, I am speed. You know what's something you should make, Hunter? You should find a picture of Lightning McQueen, get Emmy's face, stretch it out, and put it on the windshield where his eyes are, and be like, "Speed, I am speed." That would be like a good meme. Ask Inferno to do that. He might do it. Emmy seems to understand my meaning. I see. Not that into the whole organization thing. But now that you're here, I guess we're going to run together, huh? What? Sure, I guess. Emmy seems pleased. Are you going to warm up? Real men don't warm up. Oh no, you should always warm up. At Hisao. She scolds me enthusiastically, but then smiles and leans closer. I hate warming up too. She laughs suddenly. Heck, and I don't even have to stretch my legs. As if to confirm her statement, she bounces up and down a couple of times, giving a passing impression of standing on a pair of springs. Her leg blade seems to be quite elastic. She could outrun your ass, yeah. Let's go. So we both take off around the track, and I can immediately see that she hasn't been lying about being good at running. There I go, trying to read too fast again. Amy moves fluidly, throwing herself into the run, and with a sort of wild abandon. I find myself concentrating more on running properly. Frankly, I don't remember if there's any particular form for running, but I can't help but feel like I'm doing it wrong somehow. I feel awkward in comparison to Amy, who never seems to break stride. I don't think I want to do this anymore. I'm really not feeling up to that more than a couple of laps today. I slowed to a walk pretty quickly. You are a smoker? It's good that you're not anymore though. Amy keeps running, and she doesn't seem to notice I've stopped until she passes me for a second time. She quickly skids to a halt, breathing steadily in contrast to my own somewhat gasping demeanor. Finished already? I hang my head ruefully. Yeah, I'm not in very good shape right now. I understand. Amy nods and then grins at me again. She seems to do a lot of smiling. Well, the important thing is you started, right? Next time you just have to try to hold out longer, and then longer, and longer, and eventually you'll be great. I'll keep that in mind. I think right now I'm going to get ready for class. Shouldn't you? She shrugs unconcernedly. Nah, I've got plenty of time. I noticed that she's not wearing a watch. Are you sure? Another careless shrug. Not really, but I've got to finish my routine. See you later, Hisao. Yeah, see you. Apart from feeling more tired than before, I don't think I accomplished anything today. So out of shape it's embarrassing. The whole thing might have been a waste of time. I'll find some other way. Now we can see some of the actual colors on the mural. I like whenever you do rims out because you get to see the whole thing completed, which is pretty cool. Even though it's kind of insane looking. I head back to the dorms to wash and change into my uniform, trying to resist the urge to take a really long and hot shower. I'm tired from all the running, so I just want to unwind, but I don't want to break my slowly building routine of getting to school before the morning rush. After taking a long shower anyway, I dry myself off and get out of the stall to put on my clothes. Oh my god. There's a creeper in the stall. Out of nowhere, a shadow appears within the mist, looming and radiating malicious intent. It bursts through the fog. Sup? What are you doing here? What the hell? You scared me. What's your problem? In the original version of the game, he just has like a leaf right here, like one of the old statues, like the old Greek statues. He just has a leaf on his groin. They'd be asking you that. I've been looking for you all over the place, man. What do you mean all over the place? I want to ask if he's been looking for me like that, stark naked, but hold my tongue back. I finally realize I'm still naked too, and quickly hold up my shirt in front of me, but Kenji doesn't seem to notice a thing. His glasses are fogged up, but then why doesn't he wipe them off? His vision's so bad it's like he's perpetually seeing through fog. You know your room, man. Yeah, that's it. Hey, I mean, I said to get up though. Whatever, it's not important. Can I borrow some money? He puts on an innocent face and looks away, trying very hard to look very casual. It doesn't work. He's as transparent as window pane-sized glasses. Talking naturally like this, wearing nothing, feels awkward. Actually, somehow it's even more awkward to be naked in front of someone when they can't see me being naked. To say nothing of the fact that he's naked as well. I try to brush the feeling off with a little success. Money? Sure. Awesome. Wait, why do you need it? Can't you just give it to me because I have the goodwill to not run through your pockets while you were in the shower? I could have, but I exercised restraint. And in the end, isn't it the thought that counts? Come on, be a pal. This makes no sense. If it's the thought that counts, I should withhold payment, since his thoughts were clearly so impure. And his intentions are probably even more sinister since he can't tell me what they are. I say as much to him. I'm offended, man. But if that is your game, then fine. I guess I have no choice. I want to order pizza. I already have most of the cost of the pizza. I need your help with the rest. I get some of that pizza too, right? Nope. Are you serious? Yeah, I would give you some, but you have class. You don't have time to eat a pizza. What about you? I'm not going to class. I have to wait for the pizza and pay the guy, and then eat it. It's not easy. You have to obtain the pizza stealthily. If you don't, everyone will see you and the pizza, and they will ask for a slice. It's a hard world out there. Everyone wants a slice. Then you're left pizzaless in an unforgiving world. It's happened before. That's how I know. Every day I plan my vengeance, so that when people who wrongly order pizza, I will be there, ever vigilant. It always it's kind of crazy to me how you'll see videos of people like walking down the street with the pizzas. People just stop and ask for a slice. Like, what makes you think you can just ask somebody for their food like that? Like, come on. I mean, I get that it's like split up into different pieces, but just asking a random person. I mean, it is different if it's like a person that's like homeless or something like that, you know? You don't see that here? I've just seen videos of that online, and it's just like crazy to me. And I remember people would do that like when I was in school and stuff like that too. Kenji strikes a dramatic pose, completely without irony. But yeah, I only need like 400 yen. Please, you're my only hope. I can't go outside and buy my own pizza. It's too far. I try not to go out unless it's absolutely necessary. Let me tell you what happened the last time I went out without carefully planning it out in advance. I was outside. I can't remember what I was doing. Something? Standing. Maybe wondering how I got there. And then out of nowhere it happened. Like a flash of lightning splitting the sky. Like how you split a sandwich into 2 equal pieces to make it more manageable to hold and eat. A bird crapped on my head. It was the second most shocking moment of my life. What was the first? He ignores me and keeps going. I want to grab him and shake him. Is he just trying to keep momentum? I'll go with that, even if it's more likely he just didn't hear me. It was like in the openness of some kind of anime show. You know how there's always a part where the main dude is fighting his rival, and they fly at each other and clash swords, and there's like big dramatic colored auras and zoom. It was like that, but with a poo. Okay. So yeah, I need some money. Please, don't leave me hanging, man. I only need like 1,000 yen. Thought it was 400. Okay. What? I'll pay you back, I swear. You better. That's what it means to borrow stuff. I don't know when I'll be able to pay you back. You have 1 week. Kenji winces and makes a noise like a dying cow. Particularly a disturbing fact given that his baton is conducting freely. There's gonna be an ad in about 3 minutes, just FYI to everybody. You're not supposed to be so tight-assed about money between brothers in arms, man. Men have it bad enough as it is. Did you know that male P-stars only make about half as what female P-stars make? That doesn't mean anything unless you're a P-star. So maybe I am a P-star on the side, struggling to make ends meet as I fight the feminist agenda, and you can't even spot me on your crumbs, you bastard. Nobody understands. Nobody. Wouldn't feminists be against P in the first place? This feminist agenda stuff again? This stuff is important. I can see that you don't give a shit, but this is serious here. Feminists are a dangerous enemy, make no mistake. You take them lightly, and you'll wake up in the morning with a knife in your back. Bam! Out of nowhere. How do you wake up in the morning if somebody stabs you in your sleep? Women are terrible at stabbing things. I thought you just said don't take them lightly. Well, I mean, don't take them lightly for the big things. Individually, they're not a threat. But if there was some kind of war, like a big war, with men on one side and the feminist forces on the other, it would be pretty ugly. And that day will come when the feminists come out of their central top secret worldwide feminist headquarters and say, "It's on now, motherfuckers." You're being ridiculous. There's no big worldwide feminist headquarters building. Where would they even hide it? I mean, it'd have to be massive. You couldn't have that on Earth. Someone would notice a big fortress with women only in it. Who said it was on Earth? I turn away from Kenji and start practicing frowning faces in a mirror, so I can figure out what kind of frown would be best to express my emotions. He can't see me from this distance anyway. Which unfortunately means that he just keeps on ranting without any regard to sense or sensibility. Yeah, there's a war going on. A war many may not know about, but it's a great one that will one day boil over and encompass all of the known world. Then we will have to pick sides. We will have to make a stand. In fact, it's happening right now. Imagine it, the bloody battlefield, a vicious conflict without end. I almost gave up when I thought this cause was silly, when I grew tired of the bleakness of our fight, when I mistook the time the power went out for feminist raid and thought the end was near. But then I realized if I gave up, it would all be over, and I was like, whoa. And then I knew I had to get serious, because I am the last sane man in an insane world. It's about duty. Must be pretty crappy movement if all hinges on one naked guy, running in a bathroom to another naked guy. So can I have the money? He's blocking the way out. It's getting cold because I'm still naked. I don't want to go to class, so I agree to spot him the money. Awesome, thanks dude. We should go bowling later on. Bowling? Yes, the ultimate sport. There are almost no women bowlers either, making it also the manliest sport. He's talking about Call of Duty naked in the bathroom. He is. Should I wear my pink bowling shirt with matching shoes or the pastel green with flower accents? There are bowling clothes? Trash games. They are, you're right. The old CODs are good, all the new ones are trash, so that's true. They're trash except for the zombies in the first few. Those were great. Yeah, I used to love Origins on Black Ops 2. That was my favorite zombies. That was just because it had like a good story and everything, you know, and it was like it had like a lot of intricate details in it, that, like stuff you had to do if you wanted to beat it. Maybe. Anyway, you had better pay me back. Oh, that's Hisao's voice. Anyway, you had better pay me back. I can pay you back in stuff, right? I don't have the time to ask him to elaborate on what that means. I don't know. I have to get to class. You're kind of in the way. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't want to hold you up. I have some stuff to do myself. The time has come. Time for what? It's just like saying that. Okay, now the time has really come. For what? To use the bathroom. Get out of it. I was just going to. What does that mean? It's a big bathroom. So? After being longer, I can't go. The pressure. Okay, what if someone else comes in? I'll think of something. I give him my practice frown and it looks kind of silly reflected in his glasses. He either doesn't notice or doesn't see. Anyway, so I get dressed and run back to my room, feeling as though an eternity has passed since I woke up. I'm glad that's over. His doing his voice was hurting my darn throat. That is time I'll never get back. I'll get him for this somehow. But right now I have to get to class. And I'm the first person in class today, although I think I'm a little too early. Then again, sitting here for 20 minutes sure beats having to suffer that time with Kenji. The combination of fatigue, frustration, and boredom starts to make me feel very tired. I black out for a second, waking up with my head hits the surface of my desk. Rubbing my forehead, I realize this is as good as reason as any to stay up for now and stop coming to class so early. Eventually, I hear a tapping noise outside in the hallway. Now Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. She's not in this class, so she must have some other business. Maybe she's looking for Hanako. Lily stops at the door, looking hesitant, as if she was a vampire who can't come in unless invited. I consider doing so because she looks rather lonesome standing there. She steps in on her own accord though, after straightening her skirt and shirt collar as if it was of importance to look prim when entering our classroom. Excuse me. She calls that into the quiet classroom with a probing, delicate voice. I realize the silence might nerve her because of her blindness, so I break it. Good morning, Lily. Sal, good morning. I didn't hear you come in. I wonder if she thinks it's suspicious I didn't say anything to her before. It's likely. If I were to tell too big a lie now, it would sink me. Well, I was already here, just asleep until now. Oh, have you seen Hanako today by any chance? No, she seems to come in only just before the bell rings, or after that. You want me to tell her something for you? No, it's fine. It's strange, but I think we're the only two people in the school right now. I didn't hear anyone else on my way here. I shouldn't have gotten up so early today, I guess. You're chastising yourself for doing something that other people should? Punctuality is a good thing. I think so anyway. It's a very busy morning today. The festival is coming up soon, and today is the deadline for event registration, budget reports, and any other official paperwork. It could be that everyone is trying to complete the necessary forms at the last minute. Maybe that is why it's so quiet today. Hi. Misha pops into the room with Shizune as if on cue, shouting with a loudness that makes Lily visibly flinch. Hi, Chan. Hi. Look, it's the class representative. Hello. Lily smiles, probably amused by Misha's or Shizune's use of the word look. Good morning. Of course, you're not the representative of this class, right? I'm not. Lily seems a little more guarded in her answers to Shizune than she was with me the other day. I guess they really don't get along at all. Then I realized that Lily might actually not know Shizune is present, and she's trying to detect whether or not she is to know who she is talking to. For all she knows, she's talking to Misha, but knowing that she and Shizune are practically inseparable, she might expect Shizune being the one that actually talks. Damn, how complicated. I decided to help Lily out for my own peace of mind more than anything else. You're here early, Shizune. You were here even earlier than us. Misha puffs out her cheeks angrily. Why is she getting angry? Does she feel emotions on Shizune's behalf too? It's not that weird though that Shizune didn't like my little comment. It's true I was here earlier than them, so me saying something like that could definitely be misinterpreted as anything. Shizune is a biatch. She is, yeah. She is my least favorite route in this. Especially to Shizune, who doesn't have the benefit of hearing tone to gauge intent. Before I can start weighing whether or not I should apologize, Shizune has already moved on. Class rep, it's a good thing you're here. We have to talk. The festival is coming up in 3 days, right? Every other class has already handed in their projected budget reports for their events, even the first years, except you. Wahaha. There's still time to hand it in, isn't there? Today! The deadline is today! You're certainly taking your time, aren't you? If I had it my way, I'd have all of the necessary paperwork days ago, but someone had to say, the deadline, please extend it. Yes, that was me. Planning something on this scale is not a small task, and a week is too small a time frame to expect a whole class to work out such a complex issue completely. Do you want to know what's harder than distributing the funds for one class event? Handling the same manner for every class in the school and then some. The one who does that is me. Misha puts her hands on her hips and stands up straight. Wow, she's really getting to the role. Lily doesn't look like she's very amused though. Hey Shizune, aren't you being a little too hard on her? There's still a whole day left. Please, Hisao, it's alright. Lily seems happy I'm taking her side, but a bit conflicted that I might not think she can take care of herself. Sorry, I was too busy taking photos of your plants. You're doing good, and you friends? I'm doing pretty decent. What kind of plants you got? The planties. I am not good with plants, honestly. They die. The last thing I had was a, what was that? Gosh, I can't remember what it's called. It was a big plant though. Was it some kind of lily? I think it was some kind of lily, but it didn't grow flowers maybe. I'm not sure. It was like a big green plant. I just can't remember what it was called. But that thing died. I don't know if it was like I think maybe it was because I was using the water from my sink, and like city water is bad. Um, I think honestly, I think that was what probably killed it. 5 succulents, 3 basil plants, a pot with 2 elm saplings. They were growing as weeds in your friend's garden, so you took them. And a bearberry shrub. That's cool. If I ever get a house, I would like to have some plants. My wife really wants to have a garden too. But neither of us, honestly, is good at taking care of plants. Um, sorry. If this is about the budget, then I'm disappointed you think I have forgotten about it. Understand how important it is. Then, can I have it, please? Shizune, she might not have it on her at this exact second. It's not here right now. I asked 2 students to take care of it for me, students from my class. She emphasizes the last sentence, much to my surprise. She knows about Shizune and Misha's efforts to rope me into the student council. I guess word must have gotten around, so now she's using me as ammo against Shizune. This just gets better and better. Yeah, Shizune ain't happy. It was your responsibility. A budget report isn't something you should just be delegating anyway. As class rep, it's your job to be on top of things. This kind of disregard for proper procedure is really just terrible. They completed it, being capable of doing so, but the students have been sick recently, so they could not come to school and give it back to me. If you won't, I'll apologize on their behalf for getting sick. Okay. Although Misha misses Lily's little jab entirely, Shizune doesn't. She seems torn between being offended by Lily's daring and jumping for joy at the prospect of a challenge. These are all on your windowsills. I ain't got a house quite yet. Yeah, we just don't really have we don't have room for them unless they were like really tiny. We could put some back on like the patio outside, but the patio is in like a really bad spot. Like it's trees overhanging it and everything, so it doesn't really get a lot of sun. Um, and then pretty much like the only window is in the kitchen, and it's not really a space where we could put plants. So if we got one, it would have to be like a minimal sunlight one, or a cactus. I think maybe we could keep cactuses alive. I don't think cactus. Well, do cactus need a lot of sun? Cacti. I don't know. They are desert plants, so maybe they do need a lot of sun. I'm not sure. I know they don't need a lot of water. Although Misha, oh yeah, I read that. Lily, they don't live here at the school. That's a 5-minute walk, you know. What could they possibly have that prevents them from taking 5 minutes out of their busy lives to drop something off that will affect the enjoyment to their entire class? Lily opens her mouth to say something, but Shizune closes the gap between them and starts sounding furiously, waving her hands like an orchestra conductor. Misha tries her best to convey the same passion, but can't seem to lose her normal cheerful tone. The result is interesting and somewhat surreal. And what's with that attitude? I say that it's not something you should be delegating away. Are you the class representative or aren't you? Tell me the names of those 2 students. They should have your job if they can't even handle something this if you can't even handle something this simple yourself. One form isn't the full extent of what I am supposed to take care of. Lily's tone is growing slightly impatient, but she's doing a good job of not letting Shizune see how unsettled she's becoming. She's playing her cards close to her chest. Shizune, on the other hand, wraps her fingers cheerfully along the edge of her glasses, knowing Lily can neither hear nor see how excited she is. Of course you do so much, class rep. Must be so difficult being you. Lily tightens her lips at Misha's words, clearly understanding the intent behind them, even though Misha delivers them without even a hint of the sarcasm which they were meant to have. Darn, doing that Kenji's voice earlier did a number on my voice. Jesus. I'm gonna have to stop giving him a voice like that. Shizune and Lily don't like each other, that much is clear. But this seems a little much. Seems like Lily has had enough and is ready to push back. It's time for war. I was actually just discussing the budget report before you came by. You must be very talented to have finished all of your student council duties so quickly that you can track me down to make sure I don't forget my own. Are you accusing me of slacking off? It seems like you're confusing me with yourself. I don't think so. That'd be a very difficult thing for me to do, comparing myself to you. You're right, the difference between us is like heaven and hell. And it's not hard to guess which one you might represent. The air between them ripples with the heat of their enmity. Well, not really. They can't disguise it anymore, though. Even Misha looks like she's beginning to understand the real nature of the conversation. Jeez, what, I got a piece of hair stuck? Yep, I had a piece of hair stuck on my face. Hee-chan, don't you slack off either. What are you talking about? Aren't you taking part in the festival, Hee-chan? You are, aren't you? And I hope you're going to do a lot more to make sure it goes smoothly than this person. I understand why Shizune is suddenly getting mad at me. Fucking Shizune, damn, she needs to fuck off. She does. Google says generally 4 to 6 hours direct sunlight daily. As for water, I figure out that the trick is add water until it starts dripping from the bottom of the plant. Then every few days, shove your finger like 2 tar cells deep. If it's still moist, leave it. If it's dry, repeat the cycle. Okay. Fuck off, Misha. We never agreed to join student council. Yeah, that's true. Jesus, dude. Do I still have a piece of hair on my face? No. Must have been where that was, and that feeling is still lingering. That drives me insane anytime I have something on my face. I'm pretty sure it's this choice. Yeah. Hey, come on. Cut me only some slack. Hey, I'm the new guy, remember? It's not like I could have done much, even if I wanted. That's right. You shouldn't expect a transfer student to jump right into this on his first week. Lily taking my side feels oddly comforting, so I decided to back her up too. Yeah, you're being unreasonable with us both. Excuses, excuses. Miss Class Rep has plenty of time to deal with her report. And we repeatedly offered you a position to help with the student council work, but you refused to commit yourself to making the festival a success. Yeah, but as I said back then, I'm not sure if... I don't have time for this right now. No matter what I do, it'll mean being drawn into a confrontation with Shizune. And that is what she wants. Whatever, forget it. I turned my back at them. Lily, class is going to be starting soon, so we can talk more later. I'll tell Hanako you were looking for her. I could feel Shizune freezing. Maybe this is the first time she's ever been ignored in such a blunt manner. Thank you, Hisao. I'll leave now then. She gives me the sweetest smile I've seen all week and turns on her heels to make her exit. As soon as Lily walks out the door, I suddenly start feeling reluctant about turning to face Shizune. I can feel her eyes burning into my back, and I can't bring myself to look at her. She must be furious. I keep expecting Misha to say something to alleviate the tension, but it really is wanting too much. In the end, I just go back to my seat and listen to the sound of Shizune's footsteps as she marches out of the room. She doesn't return until a few minutes before class. Hanako doesn't come to the morning class at all, leaving her seat looking empty and lonely in the back of the classroom. I have to tell her that Lily was looking for her if I see her later. After the events of this morning, class is pretty boring in comparison. I turn the pages of my textbook lazily. I have a bit of catching up to do. Despite trying to keep up with my studies at the hospital, I'm not feeling that enthusiastic about it. The clock at the front of the room sounds unbearably loud. The teacher hasn't said anything in over 7 minutes, instead of opting to cover the board in rows and rows of equations taken directly from the book. The rhythmic clashing of chalk on blackboard seems to synchronize perfectly with the ticking of the clock. I start to copy down the equations just to pass the time, even though they are right there in the textbook. When the bell rings, I'm not in a hurry because I have nothing to do, so I stay for a while, reviewing what we covered in class today. I prefer to leave last anyway, so I don't have to deal with crowding in the hallways. I noticed Shizune and Misha have also stayed behind, talking to someone from another class. Shizune is signing so fast that her hands make noises like swords cutting through the air. Maybe there is pent-up anger in there. Misha's trying desperately to keep up, but it's clear she can barely manage to even understand her. Haunter, play nice. I put my head down. Whatever they're discussing, it looks like serious business. Shizune sounds to the point where her wrists crackle, and Misha struggles to spit it out in word form. Sometimes she trips over herself, like she's dealing with tongue twisters, and then on top of that, she has to sign back everything the other girl says. Seems like a rough job. Misha looks tired, like she's about to faint. Luckily for her, their business is soon finished, and the girls sit down on their seats again. I'm so tired. She's hanging her head limply on her desk, looking exhausted. I'll use the opportunity to reconcile with Shizune a bit, without getting roped into the student council thing again, though I suspect the door is now closed for me. Festival preparations must be tough for you. Indeed, the people in this school seem to be taking this festival very seriously. Whenever I see people idling around before and after classes, they're always talking about their plans for it. It's kind of neat to see everyone being so enthusiastic about it. I'm probably the only one who doesn't have something to do. Shizune scoffs at me first, as if trying to decide whether to ignore or sneer at me, but in the end she just starts signing without doing either. Misha perks up, looking at her hands with slightly unfocused eyes. She signs with harsh, heavy, dramatic strokes. Misha translates her signing into speech for me. She does it so well, it's almost like Shizune is actually speaking, transmitting her thoughts directly through Misha. She must have practiced it vigorously. Well, of course. We're in the student council, so we're pretty busy. It's an important duty of ours to ensure the success of the festival with all of our strength. We would shame ourselves in front of the past student council generations if the festival were to fail. That's why there must be no flaws. No, I think that was encumbrances. No, nothing that might make the festival short of perfect. Shizune's passionate speech and Misha's enacting are really oddly fitting with them. Oh, hello. I look over my shoulder and see Hanako peering timidly into the classroom, most of her body hidden behind the door. Hey, playing delinquent again? Hanako blushes hard at Misha's straightforward jab, even if it was only in jest. Shizune stares at her probingly, causing Hanako to look down and start backing away to the point where only her fingers can be seen wrapped nervously around the edge of the door. Maybe she is showing her dislike of Hanako by association of her dislike of Lily. It appears so, and Hanako probably knows it as well. What is it, Hanako? Has Lily been here? Sorry, haven't seen Hisao. She came by in the morning though. Hanako keeps looking uneasily at Shizune, who stares back at her with her usual studying gaze. What is she trying to do? Of course Shizune isn't going to look away. She's intimidating enough as it is, so I can only imagine how terrified Hanako would be. It is a little uncomfortable, watching Hanako's reaction to Shizune's normal behavior. This is what happens when two people of two different extremes meet, it seems. Do you know where she is? If she has any sense in her head, she's in her classroom, working on their festival project, but who knows where that woman is loitering at. How rude. You need to find her? She was looking for you in the morning, but I guess you have missed each other. She waits a little without answering the simple question, looking awfully like she's not sure if it's proper to answer such a question. Yeah, I can come with you, if that's okay. Hanako nods fractionally, still on guard, her shoulders stiff like wood. I get the feeling that she might be more comfortable by herself after all, but it's too late to back off now. She has this really troubled expression she seems to wear almost constantly, one that makes me constantly be on guard myself. I wonder why. I kind of understand why she always seems to be so wary, or maybe more like why there could be a person like her. But I still have no idea how I should act around such a person. It's dinner time soon. Were you planning to eat with Lily? She nods slightly. So she must have been trying to get in the cafeteria. Well, there's something of a dinner crowd, just like the cafeteria is crowded during lunch. It's not as bad because dinner time is longer than lunch hour. but I can understand why Hanako could be discouraged from going in. I pick up my bag and we take our leave. Hanako skips a little to meet my initial pace, so I slow down to match her speed. Yeah, that Kenji voice did a number on my voice, Jesus. No more gravelly Kenji voice for me. It doesn't take long for us to be walking at a comfortable pace down the hallway. It almost feels like we're going to go for a stroll together, something that I can't say I've really done before with a girl. Hanako doesn't seem to be thinking the same thing, though. Even though we're walking at the same pace, she never comes within arm's reach of me. I guess she's still a little uncomfortable around me. Given how shy she is, there doesn't seem to be much help in it, at least for now. By the time we arrive at the cafeteria, there's not much of a crowd there, but Lily is nowhere to be seen. Hanako's head sinks even lower than usual. Have you looked somewhere else today? Just at the library. I was reading. So she does spend the classes she skips at the library. So not exactly a thorough search then. Well, if I had to guess, she'd be in her own class like Shizune said, right? Right. With the slightest of nods, Hanako agrees with my reasoning. God, she's being so awkward. It's like I need double-layered silk gloves with padding to even begin interacting with her. Some small talk might help her become a bit more used to me. It isn't hard to tell that the silence between us is hovering on the edge of both of our minds. So you and Lily usually hang out after class, right? Yes. I'm not quite sure what I expected from her answer, nor why I even asked the question. That much was rather obvious after all. She doesn't seem like the type to cultivate a social circle either, so I suppose that Lily might be her only friend. It must be a pain being in different classes, I'm guessing. She gives a sharp, almost reflexive nod. Compared to Lily's careful, thought-out actions and speech, Hanako hastens to make her answers as prompt and short as possible. Lily comes by the classroom though, even when she's busy. She gives a small smile as she says it, evidently appreciating the fact that Lily goes out of her way to help her. It's pretty cute, really. There isn't any need to say more, both of us content that the discussions reach an end. As we ascend the stairs back to the lobby where we are met by a group of students heading downstairs like a school of fish moving from one feeding area to another. They seem to be keeping mostly to themselves, but before I can notice her doing so, Hanako has moved around behind me. Hey, are you alright? Just keep going. The students pass us without as much as a second glance, and Hanako takes up position at my side again as we enter the building. Her momentary reprieve from her anxiety all but snatched away. Even as we climb towards the third floor, she doesn't seem to relax. It isn't as if I've known a shy person before. It isn't as if I've never known a shy person before, or even shy girls. Hanako seems to be pretty far beyond what I call normal in fear of other people. Aquatofana! How's it going? Good morning. If it weren't for Lily acting as a mediator, I doubt Hanako would have even been able to walk beside me like this. She seems to completely shut down in the presence of others. The rest of the walk up to Lily's classroom continues in strange silence while I rue her inability to socialize at all. Good. Been a rough week, but I'm hanging in there. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty decent. I kind of wore out my voice a little bit doing the voice of one of the characters in this. Sorry you're having a rough week though. At least it's almost over. Well, today's the last work day for you too, isn't it? Unless you have to do some OT. You're very glad it's almost over. No, it's all good. I was giving this one character like a pretty gravelly voice. And so it messed me up. Yeah, and you have Monday off, 4-day weekend. Oh, nice. That'll be a nice little reprieve then. After we make our way up the stairs, the noise coming from Lily's classroom is audible from halfway down the hall. I wasn't expecting such a din at it. Such a din at all. Okay, I was like, what does that even mean, such a din? I don't know if I've ever seen that. I don't know if I've ever seen Den used that way. D-I-N. I know D-E-N. Like a little nook or whatever. Well, I guess we found her. This wasn't hard. Did Hanako come here first and come to me for backup, I wonder? Well, if that's true, then at least she's starting to trust me a little. That can only be a good thing. Eventually, the two of us reached the door to Class 3-2, with Hanako less than subtly positioning herself behind me. I opened the door. Oh, Britt, have you got the Palea glasses yet? From the streams? Inside is a hive of activity, seemingly every student in the class talking at once as they work hurriedly on their separate tasks. Yeah, you got the glasses. I have to log in and claim mine. I want to see what they look like. They're cool. You have been wanting those. I don't know if they'll fit my character, but he's still gonna wear them anyway. Going by the paint cans, decorations, and banners being made, it must be for the upcoming school festival. I guess my first priority should be finding Lily. There. Finding her among the den is surprisingly easy, not the least because of her looks. With a couple of students gathered around her, she stands at the front of the class. She seems to be in charge of the preparations, or at least busy organizing them. Carefully negotiating a path through the various students hunched over the floor for a lack of desk space, I raise a hand entirely out of habit as we finally reach Lily. Hi, Lily. She perks her head as she breaks off talking to a noticeably smaller girl who must be her classmate, trying to listen as best as she can. Sorry, who? Ah, sorry, Hisao. And I have Hanako too. Don't do that to me. Hi. She's pretty skittish. Considering the number of people around, it isn't too hard to work out why. Lily takes a moment's pause to assess the situation before turning to the other student once again. For the moment, just ask Mariah for his advice. Or Maria? Moria? Mariah? I guess I'm saying it right. For the moment, just ask Mariah for his advice. Kenji's busy painting one of the banners already. A quick nod and she bounces off, fingers carefully sliding along the wall space for orientation. Wait, Kenji? That Kenji? I quickly turn about, leaning to the side to see past Hanako. Sure enough, in the corner of the room, Kenji's hunched over a sheet of cloth as he paints it. His eyes remain only inches from the brush, reminding me of how close he had to be in order to make out my face when I met him. Moria? I don't know. Cause it could be spelled like a few different ways. Sorry about that. Our class doesn't seem to have many students with even partial eyesight, so they're in high demand. That's right, Class 3-2 was specifically for students with poor vision. Preparing for the festival must be pretty arduous for them. Need a hand? I could give help if you need some. Maybe Hanako could too. A chance to set her mind on something would do her good, but I doubt she has the courage to ask outright. She quickly nods an affirmation afterwards, so I'm confident I made the right move. Lily gives a noticeable sigh of relief. Ah, that's good. This might actually get finished before everyone goes off to dinner now. Would you be able to help the person painting the main banner? It's a big task for him to do, but nobody else can help. Kenji? Sure. She seems surprised I know him. I can't really blame her. I take it you've met? Our rooms in the dorm are right next to each other. Hard to miss each other, really. Well, it's good you're getting friends so fast. Friend? I wonder if that's the right word to use for him. Yeah, he's a lunatic. You only know because Mariah, Junton, whatever, he's your favorite golfer. Moria. Okay. Yeah, whenever I've seen, like that spelled with, before, or Moria, whenever I've seen Moria spelled before, it doesn't have that Y in it. That's why I was unsure. Oh, it's already been done. No tape backs. Hanako's silence during the proceedings reminds me of the reason I put her up to helping in the first place. We'll go help him then. He knows what needs doing, right? That's right, just ask if you have any problems. Chorusing in assent, Hanako and I begin another trek across the classroom. Kenji still crouched on the floor, his gaze fixed on the white calico in front of him. Hey Kenji. No answer. He continues dragging his paint-soaked brush along the large half-painted kanji that's sketched on the sheet and pencil. Kenji? Huh? What? Who is it? This is the way he treats class members. It's no small wonder he's working on his own. It's me, Hisao, from the... Right, I know that, man. What are you doing here, though? His dismissive attitude annoys me. He must be the type to get really focused on his work, hating to be disturbed by anyone until he's done, I suppose. What is that face? Jesus. While we talk, the sound of Hanako's footsteps as she walks out from behind me reminds me that she's still here. I was just going to help with the banner. Hanako and I, that is. Hello. Oh, hey, I guess that's okay. As soon as Hanako enters the equation, his demeanor takes a complete about-face. His sudden faux hospitality is slightly unsettling. Alright, women. On second thoughts, this may not have been a great idea after all. Amazing emote, yeah. Hanako and I grudgingly set ourselves down on the opposite side of the cloth banner to Kenji, noting that several small paint tins on the ground around it. That is definitely a face that he likes to make, ain't it? Class 3-2, noodle stall? You guys selling noodles at the festival on Sunday? Yeah, some stalls outside or something. His non-committal nature sparks a fair amount of suspicion on my behalf. The task at hand comes first, though. So how do you want to split this? We do borders while you do the text? Or do you want to switch and do the borders? Text is mine, you do borders. He has surprisingly strong feelings on the topic. As I reach over to grab a brush, I notice Hanako's already debating between colors to use. By the time I've put brush to cloth, she's already started on a delicate pattern. Looks like my idea of taking her mind off everyone around her worked. With a dark blue stroke, the three of us silently get to work. Not before Kenji takes advantage of Hanako's working to lean towards me and whisper conspiratorially though. Okay man, why are you here? Hanako just wanted some help to find Lily, that's all. He apparently disapproves of my motives. I get it, looks like I misjudged you. You're infiltrating them, aren't you? Going deep undercover. I should have guessed. Letting the troops slip by him would probably be better than outright lying or annoying him in any case. Is that why you're here? Obviously, it sucks, but there's no better way to get intel than going in yourself. We gotta stick together, man. This is a harsh school, a harsh world. Yes, very harsh. He misses my true meaning as he leans back, satisfied I'm sympathetic to his cause. I better get down to work. Finished. Looks like I am too. Good job. The two of us connect up the lines of our patterns, mine being as close a copy as I could manage to hers. With a grunt, I lever myself up from the floor and look around. Aside from Hanako and myself, there's only Kenji left, finishing off the sign, as well as Lily and a couple of students talking among themselves in the classroom. Looking at my watch, it's no surprise. It's getting pretty late. Need a hand? I offer a hand to Hanako, which she uses to get herself up. As she does, I can't help but glance at her wrist. If her scars extend even to there, just how much of her body was burned. I feel a pang of guilt about it, however, as she quickly covers her wrist with her other hand. Looks good, doesn't it? She looks surprised for a moment before noticing that I mean the banner. It does, I guess. Her smile shows that she feels a slight sense of pride in the result, just as I do. With the floor significantly neater for the decorations being placed on desks and shelves, it's much easier to get Lily as we cross the room. We finished the banner. I guess that's all that needs to be done. Lily gives an appreciative nod. Thank you, Sal. Hanako. If there's any way I can thank you. It's fine. Beat sitting in my room studying at any rate. I don't mind either. She nods before suddenly remembering one last person. Oh, is Kenji still here? Just as I open my mouth, Kenji gives an answer from the other side of the room. Yeah, just finished. He carefully slides his sign onto an empty section of his shelf to dry, before quickly walking past us and out the door. See you, man. Bye. The remaining two students say their goodbyes to Lily before taking their cue to leave as well, leaving only the three of us. Well, I guess that's everyone. I hope we don't have to do anything like that again. Working past school time? Indeed. The class's plans this year were ambitious, maybe too ambitious. The stalls look nice though. She's right, it shows there's a lot of work gone into them. My, I'm sure a lot of us would be glad to hear that. At least now there's not much work to do until the festival itself. It's getting pretty late. Should we go? That's probably a good idea. Are you going back to the dorms as well, Hisao? Yeah, I guess I'll tag along. The nighttime lighting really makes the gardens look quite different compared to the usual look of lush greenery. Things are much more calm. I butchered that sentence, my god. Being that it's so late, the lack of students around probably helps. The odd one or two can be seen scurrying to and from the dorms, trying to eke the most out of their approaching curfews, but no more. All that can be heard is our footsteps, in addition to Lily's cane regularly gently tapping the ground in front of her. It's nice to finally be able to relax a bit after the mad rush during school. Without even noticing it, I let out a small yawn. Tired? Yeah, still getting used to the flow of things, I guess. The thing with Shizune took me kind of off guard though. I grit my teeth a little at the candid mention of the rather public spat. That said, I do want to sort out what in the world was behind it. About that. I'm sorry about it being so public. Shizune and I go back some ways. Her voice seems slightly irritated as she remembers Shizune, obviously unwilling to discuss it any further. I glanced to Hanako for her views on this, but her expression is, unsurprisingly, evasive and difficult to read. Either way, I guess her apologizing for it is something, even if my curiosity goes unanswered. I'll be glad once the festival is over in any case. The change of topic's welcome, clearing the thickening air quickly. I can imagine, middle school's festivals were a lot more low-key than this. Yamaku stresses the idea of school community, so the staff likes to make our festivals and such special occasions. And yet the students are the ones who do the work. What an unfair world. Hanako and Lily both chuckle in agreement, savoring the fact that none of the staff are around to hear our grumbling. I suppose coming from an all-strict girls' school helped me a bit with Yamaku. Compared to there, Yamaku is much more relaxed. They go away towards explaining her well-bred speech and behavior in any case. As we come up through the dormitories, it eventually comes time to leave for our respective rooms. See you, Lily, Hanako. The two both give polite nods before setting off to the women's dorms, just next to the guys. As is to be expected of such an arrangement, there's a staff member casually patrolling around outside to prevent any nighttime shenanigans. Walking past him, I quickly stretch my arms and rub my neck, both quite sore after having worked on the floor for so long, before walking to my room. Feels good to actually have direction though. After so long in the hospital, the everyday facts of studying, homework, and teachers seems to have been a blessing. I guess if things continue like this, my time at Yamaku might turn out okay. I'm feeling tired, so I set my alarm clock to wake me up as late as I can afford, while still making it to the first class. The nurse's voice is almost nagging in the back of my head about morning jogs. I make a resolution to make up for it by going for a walk after school tomorrow. Amy won't care either way, I bet. We finished the day. Alright, y'all, since we finished the day here... Wait a minute. Is it not going to let me... There we go. I was about to say, why ain't it letting me save? Since we finished the day there, we're going to finish with Katawa Shoujo for today.